Peekaboo. Well, I bet you didn't see that coming, did you, lovelies? Hi, I'm Jen and I'm one of the directors here at IntraQuest, and I'm also a play therapist. I'm here to talk to you about the power of hide and seek. It is one of my most favourite games, I have to say. And it's something that comes up loads in our therapy sessions where children feel really emotionally dysregulated and need to regress to an earlier stage of development. So hide and seek is quite important part of our therapeutic process. So I want to tell you a bit more about it. I don't know whether you remember it at all, but we used to play a version of it with my dad when we were little. So there was me and my sister, and we would play something called Ghostbusters. So I was a child of the 80s and I loved watching Ghostbusters, and my dad would pretend to be the Ghostbuster. We, as little ghosts, would run upstairs and into our hiding places. Dad, however, would remain downstairs at the bottom of the stairwell. Now, this is where it got a little bit scary. Do you remember that feeling? That whole build-up of anticipation, which was almost excitement, but also quite anxiety-provoking. Really, really difficult to contain. So my dad would wait at the bottom of the stairs, and then all of a sudden, we'd hear the theme tune. Da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, and all of a sudden, he would begin to climb the staircase. We would hear every single creak. In fact, what he'd started to do as well was to give himself a little bit of a commentary. So, I'm climbing all the way up the stairs. Where are my ghosts, I wonder? And then he would creep past each room and fling the door open really suddenly, which would of course freak us out and of course scare us out of our hiding places. And also, I don't know about you, but for some of our children, and even for me back then, it remained really difficult actually to stay hidden because the feelings that were being conjured inside were really difficult to tolerate. So, hide and seek in itself, lovelies, is really, really important because it helps us to sit with that uncomfortable feeling, that feeling that can feel really overwhelming. Now, it all begins really in babyhood when, do you remember the whole thing of us playing peekaboo? Yeah, that whole thing. Absolutely fantastic game for littlies and for babies because this is the beginning of how we learn something called object permanence. Are you going to be there even if I can't see you? Do I know that you exist? All of these questions start to conjure within baby's mind because they don't believe that you still exist if they can't see your face. It's really, really important stage of development to go through, to know that something still exists even if they are not with you. Really important. So, it's ever so important for our kids that have struggled with developmental trauma or with ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. It's a really important feature in a developmental stage to revisit. What we will also notice that is in times of stress and difficulty, our kids may naturally go there, even if they've had the most amazing childhoods and have been really well nurtured and cared for. Anxiety can really give us all a little wobble, and so what you may be seeing is some regressive behaviours from your children. You may see them using their baby voices. You may see them actually instigating lots and lots of hide and seek type games. So it's really important that you go with it and actually begin to help children to label their feelings through it. These are the sort of things that hide and seek can help with. Emotional regulation, to help a child to notice how their body is feeling and to tolerate those strong feelings, to bring around a sense of calm. It's also really good for emotional literacy, especially if we as adults are really engaged with them and starting to help them to notice how they feel through us labelling it. It can be a really fantastic technique. So take a look at some of our validation techniques that we mentioned on a previous video. It can be really good for this game. Also, it can really help with memory, memorising the rules, also noticing where you've been and where you haven't, really logging what's happening for you. Problem solving skills it's brilliant for, and of course physical skills in terms of coordination and balance. It's really important. Now, if you've got any kiddywinkles that really struggle to stay hidden, then maybe have a go at trying to first of all hide a toy, okay? And help them to tolerate that feeling of worry, like where could it be? I don't know, let's have a look. Is it under the sofa? take a look around with them and help them to find it and to tolerate those big feelings. Also, pairing up can help. Our PDF that we've got down below will really help you with some ideas around this. There's also loads of imaginative ways we can have that same feeling, okay, of tolerating that level of anxiety or worry or / excitement, okay? So you can disguise hide and seek with things like superheroes and villains, or maybe you might even want to do the Ghostbusters things like my dad did with us. There are loads of different ideas around how we can do it. With our older children, it's things like paintballing, laser quest, even like running around the garden, everybody in hiding places, and just getting the water pistol out and firing at everybody can be so much fun, but can really help us to tolerate those difficult feelings and also just get rid of some of that pent-up energy and emotion. Kate, one of our therapists, has written a fantastic explainer PDF below, just to give you some ideas and to explain a little bit more about what's going on. But for now, lovelies, thank you for watching, and I hope you join us next time. Stay safe. Bye, lovelies. Bye.